So is it summer in Helsinki at the moment, or
Yes,
is
at the moment.
cold?
Well, it's kind of the summer is back getting a little bit more chiller. It's like 22 degrees at the moment, but it's sunny. It's
Ah,
very sunny, very windy, like basically like
I love it. Really sunny, very windy,
yeah,
really cold.
classic Scandinavian summer, I would say.
Oh, I love that. So let's start. And welcome to the Krazy Beautiful Show, the podcast where we paint the world with madness. So before I start with the guest, today's guest, I want to say thank you so much for everyone, for the reviews, the comments, but also I wanted to share this little thing. When I decided to do the reboot of the podcast, I was not expecting anything. So the other day, well, I woke up at 1 o'clock in the night and I was like, you know what? Let me look to the charts where we are. And we managed because I managed with all of you listeners to not reach, but to be in the top 200 podcasts more listened in Spain for society and culture. That is just amazing. I'm still need to figure out why Spain, because it's so strange. It happened also previously, but anyway. But without any further ado, let's start today podcast. So I am thrilled to have a true design dynamo with us. She's a fabulous designer who split her time between the picturesque cities of Helsinki and Venice. Her talents shine across the globe, specializing in industrial product and concept design. Her work is captivating blend of innovation and artistry. So let's give a round of applause to Paola Garatto. Yay! I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being with you.
So you are in Helsinki at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, I'm in Helsinki, full summertime here. So I just came from Venice though. Last week I was in Venice, so now I'm in Helsinki.
Oh, I love that. And how was in Venice? It
I
was
was
it was
great.
it was warm.
It was partially warm. This year the summer is
Yeah,
not arrived yet,
yeah.
but let's say
Apparently,
yeah, it actually was warmer here than than in Venice, which is kind of funny. I went to see some exhibition of the Art Biennale, which is always a must.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I
And
recommend it. It's really interesting this year.
oh, I love that. I've been just once, and I think I shared this story with Andrea, with you. Andrea is my companion. That sounds like a dog, a companion, but it's not.
Everywhere.
But we went to Biennale 4 years ago, probably. Don't remember, 3 or 4 years ago. And well, I loved it. But then we decided to do all the Biennale in one day. And there was one moment that I said to myself, I don't want to see art anymore.
Never again. Oh, that's much intense. There is so much to see, honestly speaking. Like I usually try to split it in different days in a way that it becomes more bearable because otherwise
Yeah.
it's way too much stuff. Also because when you're gonna read it, there is a lot of video material, and many times what's in the exhibition is very layered. So you kind
Yeah.
of need to have the time and to process all the even like the concepting of the art piece
Yeah.
before architecture project depends which year it is. This year is
Yeah.
art.
Oh,
But,
okay. Okay.
but I recommend it's kind of like this year is the theme is foreign everywhere. So
Oh.
it's about like how the society is built and how is the multiculturality is included in the society and how artists are interpreting this. So I found it very
Mhm.
contemporary, honestly.
I love this.
Sorry.
But tell me, so
Hmm.
you are from Venice, isn't it?
Yes.
How in the hell are you in Helsinki at the moment?
Let's put it this way. Let's say My mom, she has been traveling around Finland
Mm-hmm.
back in the days, and she was backpacking around Finland, which is, my mom was quite an unconventional woman, I would say, designer as well. She was designing fabrics and teaching at the art school in Venice. And she loved this kind of blend between the, more like slow, meditative somehow
Mm-hmm.
attitude that the population has here.
Yeah.
The connection between the nature and there is also some resemblance with the Japanese design. Also, my mom was very a lover of the Japanese culture and
Yeah. Yeah.
design. So, as a designer, coming from a city like Venice, which like everything is hyper decorated, we have the
Yeah.
key, we have the those like Murano glass chandelier. So like everything is very visually full, visually bold,
Yeah.
and design wise. I wanted to learn how to create pieces which are more like straightforward and more like
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, function before the form. And so I thought to like send my CV here and to see if there were some design firm that they wanted to hire me. And then I started working for Ilkka Suppanen, which is one of the most famous designer here.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to come here. I didn't know anybody. I came in winter time, autumn.
Wow.
That was quite hardcore.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I remember when I came. Actually, I live very close by to this design firm, and I remember when I arrived, they were like it was September 2011, and everything was like golden because here autumn is like an explosion of colors because there's lots of trees, and it was a beautiful sunny day. Uh, and I thought that it was very cold, but actually it was 20 degrees. So I was like super cold with the clothes everywhere. And everyone was still in a t-shirt. So I had this kind of like season confusion when I came. This I cannot forget about it. But then, of course, like winter hits. But it was an extremely exciting experience because in the studio we were spending a lot of time together. We were prototyping, concepting. Plus, also Ika is a very colorful.
Yeah.
He has a colorful personality. So we have been having aperitif at the studio. He taught me how to do cross country. For example, we fixed the sauna. We had the sauna in the studio.
Wow.
Yeah, very tiny one, but
I
yeah.
love this.
And
Like you're working and then say, you know what, let me do the sound a little bit. I
yeah,
need
like
to figure.
everybody naked.
Love.
That's the
I
Finnish.
just love it.
Yeah, they're a bit particular. Finnish people are particular. They are
I
very
love it.
unconventional.
Well, I have to say that I fell in love with the Eurovision singer.
Oh, okay.
I
Karila.
felt like I was like, oh my God, I need to come to Finland if everyone is crazy as him.
Yeah. I know Teemu Murimaki that he's the designer of his outfit, which is very, can I say, quirky, if you can put it
Yeah,
that way, that he
a
has
little
spikes
bit.
here and there
Yeah,
and
yeah,
out. Like
I just love it. I just love it. And so you moved there
Mhm.
knowing no one. So you packed everything, you arrive in there.
Yes.
How was the shock? Like I know that you talk about that, and I totally understand you because when I moved to London, um, well, I moved in January. Well, here we go, winter time.
Big time.
Yeah, yeah, good time. Never moved to a country during winter time. This is like a big. But anyway, when no one listened to that, and I just went in there. It was the first time after years that in London was snowing. So here we go. Let's add also this.
That's very
But
for us also that we are south and it's very exotic.
yeah, here we go. And then in I think that was in March started there was 1 week of really hot weather that was hot for them because for me it was still cold. And I had the same thing of looking people around with tank tops and I was like, why? What is going on? What is going on?
Yeah, but they have a different perception of temperature, honestly speaking.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
And
But the snow is quite charming. I like snow. The problem is with the rainy days. Those are very depressing, I think. The gray
oh
rain.
wow, yeah. Well, also here in Lake Como, it's really depressing as well. Yay. So how was to adapt yourself to a place that was completely different?
Okay. The very beginning, I must say, it was hardcore. It was hardcore
Yeah.
because I really didn't know anybody. I have been here with my mom a couple of years before. We had a
Yeah.
stroll. I liked the place. I found it, very easy to navigate, very safe. People were pretty friendly overall
Mm-hmm.
in the center. For a Nordic country, they are more reserved in that sense. When I came here, I was living in the suburb because at that time I didn't find an apartment in the center. So the
Mm-hmm.
first 6 months I've been hopping from one place to another in shared apartments, but I didn't move with young, people like me, for example, students, because at that time I
Yeah.
was just fresh from the master degree, so I kind of included
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
as a student as well. So I was living with young families, so the lifestyle was a bit different. They were not so keen on inviting people over, so there were not so many exchange. And when you live in the suburb, in wintertime we speak that we had like even half a meter of snow. So and it
Wow.
goes like minus 26 sometimes.
That is
So you don't
cold.
really want to start strolling around and get wondering when the
No.
bus is coming, So at the beginning, I was quite concerned about my own safety on that sense. So I was like, okay, I said I didn't go out that much. So I was facing the isolation in a way. Of course, I was meeting with the people in the studio. So I was staying a lot in the studio, but mm, yeah, pretty lonely time. So I remember like crying a lot and
No.
having dinners with Skype open in my Italian.
No.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
but I'm not a quitter. So then I
Yeah.
go like, okay, now I thought to the how can I meet people? So I invited over a bunch of my Italian girlfriends
Mm-hmm.
during Christmas time, and with them we went out partying. And then it was different because if I was going out alone here, the point is I noticed if you want to be if you want to make friends here and be included in the society easily without being a creep, you
Yeah.
basically need to don't push people, no? So like in Italian, in Italy we are used to like call each other much more often. If I was used to when I was used to with that system, let's say that I was freaking people out. So when I was in a
Love this.
condition where I had anyway like someone to talk to, then everything became much more easy because I didn't quite need someone, and when you don't need, people are interested about you. It works like this more or less.
Wow.
It's a bit, you need to get into their mindset.
That is almost like gaslighting and ghosting and stalking.
Passive attitude. You want to meet me, call me. Maybe.
I think that for me, that I'm quite introvert with that. That would be like the best place because I would never call anyone. I was like, and don't even come to visit me at all. That would be like my big, my big thing. I
Oh,
would
my
be
sister is
like,
perfect.
the,
Yeah, I would say that in the Nordics, they are quite well. As Italian, we always present ourselves pretty nicely,
yeah,
because especially when you are from Venice, because it's a destination where people are basically coming on a holiday.
yeah,
So, and they have this kind of fascination because we they see us as a refined culture, like a bit like a hedonistic
yeah,
culture. Yeah, like
yeah,
we among like art, among fashion, the food, the architecture, the places, the stuff.
yeah.
They let's say. Uh, they are a little envy about us. So when you, because they are envy, you always envy what you are not, no, what you cannot.
Yeah,
In Italy we
completely
say l'erba
true.
del vicino è quella più verde. So basically the neighbor grass is the greenest or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So the thing is, they in a way wish to have some of our characteristic, and that's why I found it pretty easy to be here. Also, to consider is that I came here because I wanted to be here. So most of the people, when they are not able to um, insert in the society, is because they come for a different reason, or they have a boyfriend, a girlfriend here, so they are passive to come here, or they have a job. So, but I came here because I wanted to be here, because I was feeling to share some of the values. For being in the Nordics, you need to share the same values.
And I love that, because I never thought about, like again, I keep having these week haha moments. And I never thought about what you said right now, that there are people, like when you go to a place because you wanted to go there, because that is your dream, is totally different from when you need to go to a place because it's for work or it's for whatever is the situation.
Your half, like your sweet half or something.
Yeah, I did that when I went to London, and I suffered the first year because of that a lot.
Yeah, usually, because I think when you share the same values, for example, I like the fact that there is sensibility towards the environment, there is a safe place, there is a sense of society, respect towards others, basically no cheating, almost no corruption, no, in the evening it's super safe. I mean, here when you go to an underground party, for example, many times I've been to parties where people leave the shoes in the entrance, and you are barefoot. Yeah, and then you leave all the bags there, and there is no security or anything. It's just like you just lounge and you have the place where you go dancing, but you don't go with the shoes because it's dirty.
Wow, I love that.
Everyone keeps their own shoes and not the shoes of somebody else, or the jacket or somebody. Yeah, and this kind of stuff, like that, you would in Italy, no one would do that.
Oh no, absolutely. Like if you see how many people steal the umbrellas when they live in the front of a store, like come on.
In Milan, there is this thing I heard that you should always pick the best umbrella when you go.
Yeah, it's true.
You leave your one and then you
I used to do that many years ago. I still have an umbrella. Like it's probably the best umbrella ever.
Dolce & Gabbana umbrella.
No, I don't remember which one is it. Well, I don't remember, but I think that it's still now, but it's 12, well, more than 15 years that I have the umbrella. Was the best one. I feel sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's a bit like, the last one that leaves, who knows if he has an umbrella or not.
Oh God. But it's so true. But also your design, the way that you design changed, like from what you were in Italy to now that you live in there. It changed drastically, or it was a blending kind of?
Well, let's say that I have basically learned how to design here, because when I finished my studies, then I came here. For me, I was like stoked about the Nordic Finnish design specifically, because I've been going to see exhibitions in Venice where there were the Finnish designers designing the glass pieces, like Tapio Virkkala or Alvarado or Sarpaneva, for example. And all of them, they were blowing the pieces, for example, with Benini, Barovière, all those big makers. And for me, it was kind of like the way that they have been designing compared with the Italian one. They were like so straightforward, so clean, but at the same time, they were expressing the beauty of the manufacturing. And for me, it was very charming. So for me, I wanted to learn how to combine the Italian craftsmanship, or Italian, like, let's say, eye for detail, with the Finnish straightforward design, which is also very good in a way that when you design in a Finnish way, because the manufacturing costs are very high here, you tend to simplify. So there is a couple of positive aspect about that. One is about simplifying, so the manufacturing cost is cheaper, and one is also that it's more easy to approach, to use, and also it becomes timeless.
Yeah.
And in a time like now where like people have less possibility to purchase items, having timeless items that you really love, you want to keep for you for a long time, becomes meaningful. And so that's why Finnish design is very exciting for me, because it's meaningful and is technically democratic, because when you cut the production cost, it can be purchased for everybody. So this is the positive side of that. The negative side is that after designing for 12 years, it became a bit, I don't want to speed on my plate at the moment,
Absolutely.
but I'm also like trying to expand and work with more international companies. That's why I introduced myself as a designer works in international markets. Because I would like to work with companies in different countries in a way to have like more like experiment different shapes and colors. Because let's say Nordic design has a certain aesthetics, and it can be very domestic also. So
but it's quite different from the Swedish kind of design. The Finnish one, is it?
Yes, the Swedish is considered the timeless elegance. So if we put it like on this description, I would say that the Finns, they are more like, they are very attached to their style and towards kind of, they have a relation with the Japanese design, but also a bit folk design, like a bit like Russian sort of thing, you know. So bold colors, bold patterns, but lots of use of the wood and the white and different materials, by the way, in addition. The Swedish, they are the Milanese of the Scandinavia. So they are the upper middle class, timeless elegance, let's say. So they are more formal. They are the formal one.
Okay.
And
well, they play the safe, basically.
They are a bit like your elegant auntie, that Burberry, basically. You know? Yeah. So that's.
I just love that. Can you imagine the podcast will be listened from someone from Sweden, and we'll be like, you know what? Now is a big thing. Like Swedish is.
Well, they have like you know, the Swedish elegance. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. But I mean, they have also, you know, they have the royals, so they have a different type of society.
It's true.
They have a heritage.
Yeah, they have a heritage. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then there is the Danish, that they are your cool nephew, you know, that goes with the bicycle and wears, you know, cool clothes, like, you know, And Norway and Iceland, they have their own thing.
Yeah.
So they're more separated. Yeah. And Norwegian, I don't know them that well. I've never been there, but they are quite understated, very outdoorsy. They don't follow fashion so much, as far as I know.
Yeah, no, I know. Like, I know the Norway people, they are like that. Like, I had a couple of friends, they were like going to the club with North Face and other stuff, and I was like, what the heck? Like, we are going to the club. We are not going to do a hike in here.
Well, it's like one outfit for everything, basically.
Yeah, definitely. But also the people there, they are like, so the design is in that way. Do you think that there is a combination of how people are actually in that? Like, there is a sort of bond?
When you design something, it needs to be thought about okay, let's start from the beginning. I design mainly interior decoration.
Yeah.
Interior decoration is tied with fashion usually, so it works like
Yeah.
that. Usually, the fashion brands they launch the collection and the colors and the patterns, the feeling, the mood, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 years later, approximately, is translated into the interior decoration.
Mm-hmm.
It usually goes similar. Here there is recently there is a rising of lifestyle brands.
Mm-hmm.
So like a blend between clothing and interior decoration, in a way that you use, for example, some elements and you repeat in each product, creating
Yeah.
a family, which creates a mood. So instead of like selling, let's say, a brand, you sell the whole,
Package. Yeah.
lifestyle, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is something that people appreciate usually more here. Like, for example, in the case of Marimekko, is
Mm-hmm.
quite of an example, which is a Finnish brand, like a historical one. So yeah, like let's say you need to apply the. Of course, you need to think about you are designing an item, so it needs to be functional, it needs to be
Mm-hmm.
well designed and so on. But then and this is also my way to work, applying fashion approach, because often products they are designed by the products designed by industrial designers, they're very masculine,
Mm-hmm.
usually because most of the industrial
Yeah, they are
designers are
man.
men.
Yeah.
I tend to design more like unisex. I'm also style-wise, I feel more like
Yeah.
that. So I would say that considering those aspects, then of course it's gonna reflect the place, and you need to think about to who you are going to design, basically. And if you design for the Nordics, you need to consider that there's the change of the season and the different styles, but there is some key aspects that they are repeating in the interiors.
Yeah.
And another thing I'm doing when I design is to consider the lifestyle, because the lifestyle we have here is different than the one that we have in Italy, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes, for example, when I've been designing a collection for Fiskas Group, which is one of the biggest
Yeah.
brands here of interior items. Just finished a collection for them, and I've been thinking of tableware, and I've been
Yeah.
thinking about, and this was quite exciting actually. I've been thinking about when you design something for the table, how, and if you want to design internationally, how the table and the social aspect and the gatherings are in different countries
Oh
that I
yeah.
know, and trying to design something building around that instead of thinking about what you would like, how people
Yeah.
interact, what kind of
Yeah.
food you eat, in which way you're eating. Because, for example, here, it's more like you don't have a dinner as we have, for example,
Mm-hmm.
it's more like a buffet sort of thing.
Oh,
And people like gathers in different places. Someone can eat on the floor, someone can eat on the sofa, on the table. You don't
wow.
eat all together. The whole room is taken.
Oh, wow. That's
So
interesting.
yeah, like because um, our homes here, they're extremely warm, also in wintertime.
Yeah.
We have the wood on the floor, so it's warm. And then the interior pieces, for example, carpets, are usually very fluffy in wool, so
Yeah.
they are pleasant to lounge on top of it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And because here is very informal, everyone is in socks, so you don't
Oh,
have shoes. The floor is clean. And people are literally like it's can I say this relaxing formal gathering
yeah.
place.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Also, you don't have the separation from main course, second. It's all together.
Yeah. It's like in Brazil, it's the same. We put all together in the plate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thinking about, so instead of having like the proper set with plates and everything, maybe
Mm-hmm.
having more serving plates
Yeah.
or glasses that they can they have to be stackable, because everyone is very practical here. You don't want really to waste space.
Yeah.
So we have been designing lots of universal glasses, which are like glasses that you can drink wine, but also mocktails. Uh,
Ooh.
and so because you want to have one glass, not million of glasses. So
Oh gosh. I think that that is my dream place. You know, I grew up like in the Brazilian culture. We so it's quite funny. I was talking with a friend the other day. So we tend to always be in the kitchen. There is always food. Food is everywhere, and we sit all around the table. It's gathering all around. Loads of food, a lot of food. So I think that the first thing that people ask to you when you come to somebody home is actually, are you hungry? I prepare this and that. So there is that thing of really gathering and staying
and caring
together.
about
And
others.
but if you come, let's say, from the upper class, you have the glass for wine glass, water glass, and this glass, and blah blah blah. That is sometimes it's too much. And I grow up with the idea because my mother, until now, and well, you know, I live with someone from Padua, so he literally put the wine in any kind of glass. And at the beginning, I was really uncomfortable with that because I was like, no, you can't put on the glass of water the wine. You need to put in the wine glass. And he
Yeah.
was like, yeah, but I don't care. And I'm like, no, this is not normal. And we had this huge quantity of glasses, and sometimes you're like, but I'm not even using it.
Exactly. And then it takes space. And then if you think about the price per meter square on the apartments here in the Nordics is growing more and more. There is a huge
Yeah,
problem, for example, in Stockholm for the housing at the moment. Well, it's not at the moment,
yeah,
it is some years.
yeah,
So if you think about like most of the young families, which are the one that you usually are targeting because they are the progressive families,
yeah, yeah,
uh, they have less and less space in the kitchen. So they are not going to purchase anything that takes space because they don't really have space. So you need to think
yeah.
about in a very practical way also. And another thing that is very trendy is becoming more, not very trendy, but it's becoming more and more trendy is to have containers that you can serve. So
Mm-hmm.
elevate the lifestyle around the table, but at the same time storing the leftovers because you are, environmental conscious and also
Yeah,
in those unpredictable times you need to be also cautious
yeah,
of your expenses. So
yeah, yeah.
designing containers that you can store the food with, that's another thing, but beautiful.
I just love that.
Yeah.
But do you like there is a big study for sure of what you do and how you design and more, but from where you take the inspiration, like in general?
Usually, I do like a cross research. I started from the trends like VGSN, okay, which is
Mm-hmm.
like WGSN actually,
Yeah.
which is a trend forecast.
Mm-hmm.
I start from there, checking in a way that checking how the trend are going to be because this agency is tracking from interior to even like a food consumption. What kind of foods are going to
Oh,
be um, more consumed in the future? What people are like going to drop for different reasons. So then
yeah.
already you are kind of having, and then an idea. And then I research the in Google, which are the keywords more used about food interiors, and then you can have an idea about what people are actually searching. Then I
Mm-hmm.
check. Of course, I get the brief, so I get like a bit of an idea.
Yeah,
Usually,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
company
sure.
gives my some guideline, and then I also go to the library, to the bookshelf, or like the public library,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm searching, for example, historical books about designers that they might be interesting, something that maybe is like a little quirky. I work very well when it's time, when it's the moment also to um, redesign, uh, you know, old styles in a contemporary
Yeah,
way. This also comes
yeah,
from the Venetian heritage, which is
yeah, yeah,
bringing
yeah,
up the heritage. So I trust that. Also because in those times, having items that they are like with a kind of recognizable style, it becomes more
mm-hmm.
comforting than very minimalistic industrial design thing.
Yeah,
So people tend to purchase more of those things.
yeah.
Um, yeah, like I would say, and then of course I like to go to see exhibition. I go to see movies. I like to travel a lot. I've been in India in March.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
so I try to, every time when I go somewhere, I'm so excited to look everything, like
I love that.
where's what people are eating, and then I kind of like stuck in my mind, and I pick what I need at the right time.
I just love that. Like basically your brain it works 24
Oh,
hours, 7 days a week.
ADHD. Yeah.
And that I just love this idea. Like I don't know if I shared with you when you've been here. I wanted to do interior design, but then my mother said to me, if you want to draw, I give you pencil and paper and you do at home.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was hardcore.
Well, horrible childhood. I really wanted to do, and at that time there was just the Polytechnico
Uh-huh.
doing that, and it was a closed number.
Yeah, I've been there
And
at the university. Was epic though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I did the test, and I passed the test, and then I went home because my parents they want me to do finance economics. I don't know why. Of course, it's
Classic.
like, well, having a Brazilian mother is all about money in the end of the day. And I arrived at home and I said, I got it. And she literally looked to me, really straight face. If you want to draw, I give you paper and pencil and you draw at home.
Mom
So the dead of a dream, the dead of a dream. But I actually
got every excitement at
damn.
the very beginning.
Yeah, because then I promised myself I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna work and then I'm gonna pay the university by myself. But then I started to work and money was really good to buy clothes and anything else. So I was like, why should I study? When I
How
can
is
buy.
suffering? Yeah. Well, interior design. I mean, I didn't study. I studied industrial design in Venice.
Yeah.
Um, you would have actually quite some work at the moment with that.
Yeah.
Probably. It's pretty interesting, especially in some countries like in the Emirates or richer countries in that sense. Mm.
Yeah. And do you think your mind and the way that you live nowadays changed and you are becoming more Finnish than
Yeah,
Italian?
yeah, definitely. In let's say now it's like 5 years I'm freelancing, so I
Yeah.
noticed that I'm kind of because I've been traveling more often in Venice because I have a couple of clients also,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I kind of became reattached to my roots in a way. So
Yeah.
I'm more Italian at the moment. Also, I think also my Italian became more prominent recently because a few years back it was more like flattish due to
Yeah.
the Finnish language here. But now I kind of went bold back again. But like it's a bit different. Like in my nowadays, I have this situation where like it became like this blend between the Finnish and the Italian culture
Yeah.
because after so many years, my friends from Finland, they are used to come to Venice to meet me, or they have been traveling to Italy. They are excited about the country,
Yeah.
and when we eat, for example, tomorrow I'm going for barbecue, and my friends, Finnish friends, they invited me and they asked me, Paola, we were thinking to buy the tagliata for everyone. Do
Oh
you think
wow.
it's nice? It's like, yeah. So even buy the meat cuts like in Italian way because they have been to my place, they like it. So like,
Yeah.
and then they buy, I don't know, like we have aperitif together, which is not
Hmm.
something that you do here. Um, and then at the same time when my Italian friends they come here, they know my friends, they know the culture here, and so they're used to come, and so it becomes this mix of sharing. And because I travel so often now, I have also like the possibility of taking straight flights. So in literally 5 hours and a half, I move from my place to my place in Venice and back and
Yeah.
back. So sometimes I'm like wondering where am I, because it just and I can hear Italian on the streets. And in Venice, there is quite a community of Finns. Uh,
Really?
yeah. But Poi and Palo
Wow.
is the
Yeah.
striker. What is
Yeah. Striker. Yeah.
of the Venice team. So when the
Yeah.
Venice now went in Serie A, he was on the front row, like you have him on with the Finnish flags. How exciting! I love it. They were talking about it also here, so everyone's, you're from Venice, Poi and Palo, because he's the striker also for the Finnish national team.
Yeah, the national team.
Everyone
Yeah.
knows him. Yeah, exactly. So imagine that there's a
That is huge. Well, it's huge for them. Well, it's actually, if you think it's also huge for us when any Italian soccer, whatever it is, they play for any other team and stuff like that. Like I do remember Brazil, like having Ronaldo. He was like, oh, he's here, in
yeah.
Italy. It's just
Yeah, it's
amazing.
like it's big and but they have also they have two actually Finnish players. They have Pojanpalo and Joronen. So there's actually two.
Oh, okay.
So when I've been to the stadium, you can see like like this kind of thing. I found it hilarious. And then overall, I would say also for the Venice Biennale, there's the Finnish pavilion. So I've been invited to events there, and they were all Finns. So people that I know from here, we meet in Venice. I have my clients from Italy that many times they came to because of the business connection.
Yeah.
They came to Finland as well. So like it's lovely. I don't know.
Like it's becoming a mix.
More. Mm-hmm.
It's becoming a mix. I
Yeah.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was in London, the first year I was totally Italian, even if I'm Brazilian, but I was totally Italian. And then suddenly I became totally British from one day to the other one. And I literally stopped to do many things that as Italian and as a Brazilian we do. And nowadays I'm back to Italy. Sometimes I feel myself completely British, but then I think that, and this is connect a lot with what you said, it's actually 29 years that I don't go to Brazil, so it's a long time. And I feel it's my time to go back to the roots, you know? I
We'll
can
go
feel it.
to Brazil, so in case if you need a travel companion, I can tag along.
Definitely. We can sort all out. Like
That would be
I
amazing.
am,
I have my gym buddy that she is from Fortaleza, and
yeah.
you always send me pictures. It looks amazing, so I think you should go anyway.
Yeah. It's time to go back to Rio. Like I love to have on my passport where you're born, Rio de Janeiro. Bam.
Pretty fabulous, I would say.
If you could take something from Italy and put in Finland, what would it be?
Oh, okay.
Now I'm going hardcore, upgrading.
Something I would bring. Okay, one. This is. I would say the spontaneous interaction. That's something that I kind of miss. Yeah, but this is a part of the culture. They are not spontaneous
That's all. Yeah.
here.
Don't say that.
So I
Oh
would say
gosh.
like spontaneous. I'm sorry, but a bit more spontaneous gatherings. Like this is coming from. But I'm from Venice, so I'm used to in Venice. Sometimes I'm surprised that people just stops and mingles.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the fisherman's store, all the ladies are together speculating about what's the best fish of the day.
Yeah.
I find it so fun, and then they go away. They just like they discuss, even like in a very animated way for those 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Even like sometimes I'm thinking like, are they getting annoyed with each other? They're like very powerful, and then they go away, just like from 0 to 100.
Just like
Here it's a bit different. Of course, I live in the center. I live in Helsinki, so it's kind of a bubble. But when I go out, there is there is a sort of stiffness in the new meetings. So for me, it becomes a very, very,
And how you introduce yourself? Do you give 3 kisses, a hug, just hi?
Okay. Depends. You need to kind of understand who you have in front of you. But let's say that
Yeah.
usually you hug in a way that you don't actually touch when you're hugging. So you hug someone,
Oh, it's like the proper
and if you
posh
like,
kind of don't touch me. Oh,
yeah. So you kind of
yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah,
So it's a little weird, but not in every case. Like for example,
yeah.
here, sometimes I'm even surprised because people are like,
Yeah, big hug.
yeah, because they know that you are Southern, so they kind of act accordingly.
Oh,
So, yeah,
really?
it's not because comes naturally for them. It's because basically
They're like, oh,
they
let me become
don't.
something. Yeah. Like, let me use their cultural appropriation for
It's
one
not, yeah.
second.
I think it's mainly like also that in a sense they are kind of searching. I saw the new generation here. They're becoming more and more European.
Yeah.
Even for example, the alcohol consumption is getting lower. Eh, you can see that it's a country that is building their own basically culture and heritage and lifestyle. So they are like taking from here from there, and it's a society that is in the last 12 years has changed so much in the offering, even in the food stores, in the restaurants. When I came, there were basically no pizzerias. Now it's full.
Yeah.
You couldn't find almost any foreign product in the stores at that time, and now it's you can find it whatever you want. There is even becoming the culture of going to the cafeteria to have a coffee, but you don't see elderly doing this kind of stuff. So you can understand that it's something that it became like a lifestyle for the younger generation, but the older one, they don't really gather outside. It's not in their culture. So
Oh,
even like clothing wise, they have changing. This is now it's like European, but it's very fast to change here. Something completely different than in Italy. That more or less is,
ugh.
changes are very slow.
Nothing is moving in here, dear.
Well, it's
Nothing.
kind of comfortable because every time we go to Venice, I'm like, everything is the same. So it kind of
Yeah?
reassures you about like when I'm away here for 6 months, changes the landscape. You see, oh, there is a new skyscrapers. There is a everything is like,
Yeah.
but when I don't know, because I don't live in Venice, so I'm kind of happy that like it's like, everything.
Everything is there. Yeah. Well, it's like when I go to London, there are places that they completely change in years, buildings and other stuff. And I'm like, oh wow, it changes so much.
Where was the
And then
pub
like,
that I was meeting here like 10 years ago?
yeah, yeah, sorry about that.
No, no, no. No, so like I
Was
think it's
the
very
excitement of changing.
no, it's very is a country in development, let's say, and this is also the
Yeah.
exciting part of it, in a sense that they are also like building and thinking about the infrastructure. Like the city is growing a lot, so they have built a new metro, a new part of the metro during this time. There is a more public transport, fast trams. The government is asking the opinion of the inhabitants how to improve, what you want, what kind of line,
Really?
transportation lines you want to have. See.
And they actually take the feedback
Yeah,
on
yeah.
board?
Also, they have gatherings to discuss
Wow.
what to do with some, I don't know, all the storage that is from, I don't know. Yeah, what do you want to do? I want to have a social gathering, or I want to
Yeah.
have a place for kids, or like a secondhand, or I don't know, market, or see, they do this kind of stuff.
I love that. That is like actually 2050 compared to Italy.
Yeah, but
No.
now there's a different change in the government. The country is in recession. So they're
Well,
starting to
yes.
sell lots of places, and they are
Yeah.
asking less about those things, honestly speaking.
But anyway, the fact that they're
Details.
already listening is
Mm,
is an amazing thing, isn't it?
mm,
So I have the last question, and this is the question that I asked to all of my guests.
mm.
So this second season is all about, we talk about a lot of things, but what I like to do, since I am a coach and doing a podcast that is totally different than I'm supposed to do, because I'm supposed here to talk about bullshit that I don't even believe to. But if you had the opportunity to talk with your younger self, let's say around 15, 14 years old, what would you say to her?
Uh, uh, what I would say? I would say I would have been braver earlier. Take
Okay.
risks earlier.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna fuck up anyway in the most fashionable way. So there's no point of waiting. Don't wait, just do things and take
Yeah.
the opportunities when they come. And you think you have time, but you don't have so much time. So try to, yeah. And this is something I think I have learned. In Italy, we tend to be very nursed until late age, and I think it's very, it's quite. It just delays what you are supposed to do, and it's better to fail earlier than later, I think.
Yeah.
And it makes you grow and also explore, go, try different options, and if you really want to make work things, you make them work, and so just go. Yeah. So I would have yeah.
Yeah.
This.
That's amazing.
Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
you for
sharing
having
this.
me.
So, Paola, if people can find you, wants to find you, where they can find you?
I have a website. So my website is www.paolagaratto.com. There you can find all the information, all the news about what I've been doing recently. Soon I will launch a collection of luxury collectibles mirror in Murano glass.
Ooh.
So I'm designing those. There's one, the first piece already, and the other one, they're coming soon. And soon there will be a collection for a very big company, one of the most bigger one here in Finland, about wellness. So this is coming as well, so you can see that. So yeah, with my website you can find everything.
Amazing. So I will put anyway all the details on the description of the podcast. In this way, people can go check, and please check, because actually, I think that from the conversation, you can see how fabulous she is and how magical is the idea of design that come from her. And I love the blending of, cultural blending that I just find amazing in everything. Paola, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. And for all my listeners, keep listening to the podcast, share the podcast. So I know that I said I was not expecting anything, but I think that with this episode, I'm expecting at least to be in the top 10. Yay. So keep listening, and I will talk with all of you next week.